Hey everybody, welcome back to my watch channel. Today I've got a quick little video for you taking a look at a couple watches that I picked up a few months ago. The Pagani Design PD1676 Sports Chronographs. Obviously, pretty much direct copies of early model Rolex Daytonas, specifically exotic dial Daytonas, also known as Paul Newman Daytonas. I got it both in the Panda and the reverse Panda colorways. Both watches are identical in their specifications. The case diameter on both of these watches is 38.5 millimeters. They have a lug width of 20 millimeters and a thickness of 12 millimeters. They both have sapphire crystals with ceramic bezels, screw down crown, screw down pushers, and the screw down solid case back. They both came on bracelets with solid end links, screw-in adjustment pins, and solid links with a fully machined clasp with the Pagani Design logo engraved across the center. And it does run the 5mm Easy Link extension for on the hot days when your wrist does swell and you need a little extra room. Both lock very nicely, and the bracelet and the clasp both have highly polished sides, brushed outer links with highly polished centers. I can't find a flaw in the finishing anywhere. The watch case itself obviously borrows its shape and design directly from the Rolex Oyster case Daytonas, so it's got a slight curvature to the sides of the case with a high polish finish and then brushed upper sides to the case itself with integrated crown guard. Feels very good on the wrist. It's very comfortable to wear. It's a nice watch. It's a very nice watch to wear. They both have the Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement and offer about a 3-year battery life. They do function at about plus or minus, I believe it's plus or minus 9 seconds per month, and that's not day, that's per month. So they're very accurate and reliable movements, and the movements are made in Japan. So it's a tried and true movement used across a lot of models of watches from different brands, including Seiko. And to get these specs in a watch that's priced at just over $100 is an absolute steal. I have absolutely abused both of these watches over the last few months, especially the reverse Panda. I wore it exclusively every day while I worked on a hobby of mine building motorcycles. I welded with this watch on, I painted with this watch on, I ground and cut metal with this watch on, I mounted, dismounted tires, changed oil, wired, you name it. This watch was on my arm the entire time. And it's got the scars to prove it. It's got some pits in the crystal from welding, and the slag would hit the sapphire crystal, leaving just a couple light pits. It's got burn marks in the stainless steel, which is 316L stainless steel, by the way. It's got some more burn marks and pits there on the flank, and it actually has a couple spots of slag still stuck to the lower part of the bezel there. I've worn these watches riding, I've worn these watches running, walking, working out, fishing, hiking, and these watches have performed flawlessly the entire time, and they've provided perfect time telling. My only complaint about either of these watches is the lume. The lume is pretty much non-existent. The domed sapphire crystal, while it does add to that vintage aesthetic of the watches, has zero anti-reflective coating on the outside or inside. So there's a lot of reflection with these watches, as you can see right there. which is acceptable when you consider the prices of these watches. They're a little bit over $100. The other things that you do get for that $100, I think, puts these watches above and beyond their competition from a lot of other more mainstream brands. I still would call these watches, though, more of a fashion watch. A person that buys this style watch isn't buying it because they want a super accurate chronograph or a highly legible time-telling device. They're buying this watch, I think, and at least for me, you're buying this watch entirely for its aesthetic, its vintage look, with the dome sapphire crystal, that exotic dial look of an early Daytona. I don't feel icky about either of these watches, in that yes, they are copies of a Rolex Daytona. They are not copies of current model Daytonas. They are not replicas. They're not trying to fool anyone. Plenty of other brands have their own take on this classic colorway. What is great about these watches, I can wear a watch with that vintage chronograph look, and I can abuse it, I can bang it, I can clank it, I can drop it, I can get chemicals on it, I can sweat in it, I can submerge it, take a shower, swim, wash the dishes, wash my hands, wash the car, and not put a priceless piece of watch history in danger. For $100 on my wrist, I can enjoy looking down and get somewhat of a feel of what an actual real steel vintage watch would provide, without the guilt of subjecting a piece of watch history to the daily rigors of wearing. These watches are fun. They give you a taste of the vintage look without the responsibility of actually being a caretaker of one of those historic pieces. You get all the fun and enjoyment out of wearing it, with none of the stress or financial liability of wearing the real thing. Now, I might sound like a little bit of a Pagani Design fanboy, because my first 3 videos now are about these watches. But I will say, I did buy these solely for the intent of making these videos. They were inexpensive and available through Amazon Prime pretty much overnight. I was able to get almost all of these. And they're fun. And at the end of the day, this kind of stuff is just fun. It's not serious, it's not snobbery, it's not any of those things. It's not mine's better than yours, or this is the only thing to buy. These kind of things in today's world are nothing but fun. And that's it. And that's what it's all about. If you look at something like this and you see the fun of owning it, get it or don't. I like them, and will I continue to wear them? Yeah, I'll continue to wear them in certain circumstances and put them on here or there. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for checking out a couple of the earlier videos. And if you haven't, feel free to. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Thanks.